Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Sam in the Morning with Danny, only on LA Talk Radio.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, November 8th. We're back with you. Sad news this morning, Danny. 12 people killed in Thousand Oaks. Mm-hmm. And Thousand Oaks is about, I would say 30 miles from here or something.
Right.
Not that far. And people are concerned. I get some calls. Is everything okay and stuff, you know? The funny thing is I was watching, which I seldom do, an Israeli TV channel, and suddenly they're like, there's a shooting in California. So I found out from the Israeli TV before I found out here.
That's weird.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that's funny.
But they broke it just about when it happened. So,
right.
You know.
It's terrible.
I know, man. So 12 people were killed. This was a former Marine. And he probably, they don't know yet, but probably a case of PTSD or something.
Yeah, no case of PTSD is bringing you into a club to kill random people.
Well, you don't know, man, because this shit, it's hard. I mean, for a moment, I don't justify this. But
it was a gay bar, wasn't it?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it was a gay bar.
Oh.
Sounds like a hate crime to me.
Oh, wow. It's so random, though, you know? I mean,
so random.
Yeah. I don't know. That they didn't say anything about a gay bar, but it's called Borderline Bar and Grill.
Yeah, and everyone that's been interviewed and seen walking out of the club were like men with no shirts on.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I was like, that might be a gay bar.
Yeah,
I could be
right.
wrong, but like all the footage and all the videos, it's like all men.
Yeah, so it's probably a hate crime, you know, probably something like that. But PTSD, man, people snap, you know. I mean, just think about it. The shit you see in war and stuff can fuck you up completely.
I know.
You know?
I mean I don't understand it because I've never gone through it.
Yeah, but you kill people and shit, you know. So, I mean, the key is to take better care of our troops and the returning soldiers.
Right.
Know? But you always have a bad apple or something that spoils it for everybody, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's a sad day. A lot of pictures and videos of people crying. And I mean, just imagine, I was thinking, you know, this could have just happened here down the street. It might as well.
Right.
You know, and
how did they get into the bar with a weapon, though?
They said he forced his way in. That's what I saw in the headlines. He
probably killed the people in the front.
Probably, yeah, with the gun.
It's awful.
But, and I was thinking, what, you know, you leave your house, you go out, you don't even know you're gonna die.
I know, but that's with any instant. That could be when like in your car accident, you know, like a freak accident. You know, that's you never wake up in the morning and say I'm gonna die today.
Right, you don't know.
Right.
But it's still sad. I mean, it's just so random and so senseless, you know. Mm-hmm. So that's it. Welcome everybody to the show. We're on Facebook Live this morning. Can you see us there, Bridgetta? Are we there?
You are so there.
Yeah?
I look like a weirdo just sitting here.
Same. I look like I'm hungover and I didn't even drink last night. It's cool.
All right.
I look like I drove 4 hours. Oh, wait, I did. Just kidding.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Folks, we do have guests in the studio. We also have Vanessa here. We'll introduce her in just a moment. It's going to be a fascinating show. So if you want to see us, all the beautiful people of LA, tune into Facebook, right? I'm not going to be around many beautiful people for very long, right?
You never know.
Yeah.
There could be some hidden gems in Oregon.
Yeah.
Never know.
You never know how much gems you might find. That's true, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, your sister here?
She got here last night.
She got here. Mm-hmm. Cool. How's she?
She's tired. She tapped me on the shoulder at 5 a.m. and was like, hey, I'm wide awake. Can I put the TV on? I was like, bitch. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, for her it's 8
So then
o'clock.
I was up at 5 a.m. because once the TV was on, I was like, oh,
really?
I guess I'm up. Yeah. So I'm a little tired right now. But we have like a lot to do today. I have to like leave here. We got to be somewhere at 12 and I'm not even ready.
And what did you guys have time to do anything last night?
We didn't want to do anything last night.
No, so just that. Was it exciting to see her after all this time?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like I haven't seen her in almost a year.
Yeah.
Because it's like we FaceTime so much.
Yeah,
So when she
that's
hopped in
true.
the car, I was like, hey, girl.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'll never know what it's like to have a twin, but, it sounds fun.
No, it's definitely something that can't be explained to other people, that's for sure. Like when she is having anxiety before her flight, I felt the anxiety 3,000 miles away.
Right.
Like all throughout that, I was like, Gabby, calm the fuck down because I need to calm down,
Right.
It's like you go through the same stuff without really going through the same stuff. Like when I lived in California years ago, there was one day she called me. And I was hysterically crying. And she didn't say anything. The first thing she said was, "What's wrong? I know you're crying." I was like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
So it's a twin thing for sure.
But, I'm thinking identical twins. Just think about it. I mean.
We don't know if we're identical.
No, not you. But I'm talking in general because I was thinking about this.
Right.
Identical twins is actually the same person but split in two, I mean, think about this. It's like it could have been one person but you two.
Yeah. You know that Mary-Kate and Ashley are not identical twins?
You were telling me about that. Yeah, but they look the same.
They look exactly the same, but they're not identical twins.
I know. It happens a lot, I'm telling you.
I don't think me and Gabby are identical.
No. You don't think so?
No.
Well, I mean, you definitely look.
Our voices are exactly the same, and so are labs, but we look different. Like she looks like my older sister.
Yeah, but you know what I told you inside?
That's rough.
Really? She does. She looks 2 years older.
Wow.
So Bridget found something wrong with that.
She looks older than me. Everyone's always like, "Who's older?" I'm like, Gabby.
Yeah.
By like what, a minute?
A minute, literally a minute.
Oh my God.
But it's funny because my mom was going to have natural birth. So I was going to come out first, but I was coming out ass first. So they do an emergency C-section. So Gabby came out first. So technically I feel like I am older.
Well, how do you feel about coming out ass first? Just say.
my dad says that's why I have issues. I'm like, you're right, probably. Happened at birth.
Yeah. So listen, Bridget, we'll get to you guys in just a moment. I
know it's hard not to talk, right?
Yeah, I know, but that's why we'll bring them on. They don't have to wait too long. I did want to ask, so she's going to be on the show tomorrow?
Yeah, she'll be here
for
tomorrow.
sure?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to find out a lot about you through her.
Yeah. She'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
We might be a little rough tomorrow because we're definitely going out tonight.
Yeah. All the things you don't share with us, we'll find out from your sister.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Like there's anything you don't share, right?
That'll be a good way. No, there's nothing I don't share. That'll be a good way to end the week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right. Well, so we're going to find more from her sister tomorrow. And so join us then. If you're listening to us the usual way, we're also on Facebook today. We have two fascinating guests. And I want to introduce Vanessa Petronelli. Welcome to Petronelli.
You got it.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Of course. And she was referred and brought to us by Brigetta Tomacchio, who's, of course, always been part of the station one way or another.
One way or another.
Yeah, until he disappeared for a while, but she's back because she can't stay away. But and so before we start with Vanessa, let's just promote your show, Brigetta. It's on today.
Yes, it's on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and it's called Soul Sexy.
Right, and you can catch it here on the video channel or on Facebook as well. And you can see it's a really cool show. And so do you have a guest today?
We do have a guest today. And her name is, give me a moment and I can look it up.
It's okay. It's not that important right now.
You could go to soulsexypodcast.com and find that out.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Bridget, is always a lot of fun. You'll enjoy the show for sure.
Thanks.
Okay, Vanessa, welcome to the show. So you guys both drove up from San Diego this morning?
Yes.
In separate cars?
Yes, the dreaded 4 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my God. 4 hours, right?
It was up at 4.
It used to be two hours, right?
It's just all the traffic. There were so many accidents this morning. It was just, I couldn't, like, literally mind-blowing.
Yeah. Did you grow up in San Diego?
No, I'm from Canada.
Oh, really?
I feel like everyone's from Canada.
It seems like it lately, right?
At some point, you're going to hear the accent.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say, oh, that's what it is.
I didn't know Canadians had an accent.
So you're going to be with a Canadian right after us because Katarina, whose show you're going to be on next, is also Canadian.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
She gets the accent sometimes, But it's not a heavy accent at all in Canada. Most people can't even detect it.
Yeah.
And it
But-
depends where you're from.
Right. So where in Canada are you from?
Toronto.
Toronto. Okay.
Yes, the Hollywood North.
So Katerina is too. You guys probably know each other or something, you know? Are you Greek too? Like
No.
she is? Okay.
Half Italian and Russian, close enough.
Okay, that's close enough. Yeah, maybe some generation before you knew each other.
Right.
That's cool. So, Toronto's beautiful. I mean, I've been there several times. I had a long distance relationship with a woman that lived there. So I flew there like almost every month, you know? Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I liked the snow when I was there because I was only visiting. But you guys get a lot, right?
Oh, yes.
I heard it's
A lot.
freezing there.
It's freezing. Winters are long.
Yeah.
But
I wonder
you
if it's
know,
worse than Boston because I'm from Boston. Those winters are long.
similar. East
Right.
Coast kind of
Probably
vibe.
similar.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Wow.
horrible.
And
Grounds
cool,
to move
so-
to LA.
Yeah, you know, well, we'll find out how she ended up here. And she's not in L.A., she's in San Diego. Remember that. That's a big difference, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I can feel and sense the difference every
Yeah,
day.
right.
Right.
You come in here.
But I like LA too, so I
It
don't have
is. It's
anything
just-
against it.
Right.
Just the traffic.
It's
That's
just
it.
faster.
Traffic.
It's faster as far as life,
It
but
is.
slower as far as driving. So, you know, you get pretty much a combination of like, what do I do exactly in L.A.? Yeah, you get pressured, you get stressed, you know. But so you grew up in Toronto. Do you have any siblings?
I don't. I'm an only child.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, how cool! So you got
Yeah.
all the attention.
I did. Still do. From my
Really? Yeah.
parents. Yep. On the way up here.
Really?
My mom's like, I don't like your hair the way you styled it today.
Wait, are they in San Diego now?
No, they're in Canada. And I said to her, I said, are you kidding me? I'm going and I'm getting interviewed today. And
Yeah,
that's how
exactly.
you're pumping me up before I go on air. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
That's what moms are for.
The parents always seem to say their own fucking thing, you know. I mean,
I
it's
love
with
her.
me too, you know.
You're always their children, no matter
No,
how old we are.
110%.
right?
Yeah, you know, and your kids will come back to you 20 years later and remind you something you said that you didn't even remember.
Right.
Yeah.
And they remember it, you know. So you got to be careful what you say around your kids. for
Right.
sure.
Right.
I guess even as this old in your life, I guess, you know, I don't know. But so that's cool. Now, so you grew up there. Did you go to college?
I did. Yeah.
Where did you go?
So I went to Wilfrid Laurier University for a short period of time, and that's just outside of Toronto. And then I transferred to York University, big arts university, and studied fine arts cultural studies. I still don't know
Yeah, why?
what that was all about, except that I got to dive into fine arts and did a lot of work in film studies and music and a lot of theory and whatnot. And
Cool.
yeah,
And that's
it was
what you wanted to do?
No, actually, I transferred because I was in the entertainment industry back
Okay.
home. So I spent 10 years singing, acting, modeling, and the school I originally went to was too far. So I was coming back for auditions and for rehearsals. I was in a pop group. And so I was coming back all the time, kind of like the San Diego to LA
Right,
drive.
that's too much.
It was too much. And so I
Good.
transferred schools, and that was the deal. If I wanted to be in the industry and have my career, in front of the camera, so to speak, I
Right.
had to go and get my education. And I did.
Good for you. You
Yeah.
know, some people try to take a shortcut. They don't get their education and then they know nothing when they come here. At least, you know, they prepare you. But you realized you like film and entertainment and things like that?
Yeah, at 14, I was guided. I say guided because I've always been very intuitive growing up.
What does that mean?
So I have a sixth sense, if you will, a connection to what I call spirit, where I've been able to hear. And
Oh, that's why
see-
you guys know each other and get along.
Totally.
She already knows
so
Brigitta's.
sexy sisters here.
Danny already knows Brigitta's story. She's like,
Yeah,
okay.
she saw the connection right away. There was her intuition right
Yeah.
there.
I wish I had a sixth sense.
Oh, well, work on it.
We can develop. You can develop it.
I don't
That's how
think
I
so.
look at it.
I think you're born with it.
And I would agree. I think
Right.
that certain people have that connection in a stronger way than others. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
something that it's like gifts, right? Somebody can be an exceptional singer.
Right.
Somebody else might not be, and they may have to develop and train for many, many years.
Right.
But that other person could just open their mouth
Right.
and voila, it's,
Yeah.
like angels singing. you
Right.
know? So I think it can be developed, but definitely, I mean, for me, it was something that I was really tapped into from a young age. And then at 14, I was told that I was going to go into this industry.
By who?
By what I would define as the voice of God.
Oh, okay.
And I knew from a young age that I was here for a purpose. I had a mission, like something to do with helping humanity or people in some way, in some positive way.
Right.
And I believed that that was the vehicle at that age. You know, I mean, you're 14 years old, you hear this thing, you're like, oh my God, this is cool.
Right.
And literally, like, everything in my reality conspired to make this happen. Almost what felt like and looked like immediately. I'm auditioning for this pop group. I've got an agent for the first time in my life.
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm in this band with other, you know, young girls. And this is the time, I'm probably going to give most of my age away, not that I'm hiding it. But this is like Spice Girls and, you know, Backstreet Boys when they were, you know, at the height of their careers. So, I mean, that was a big deal when you're a 14-year-old.
Right.
And, you know, I'm going to auditions and I'm going to rehearsals and I'm in studios and I'm performing and we've got red carpet events and signing autographs and, you know, I'm auditioning for on-camera stuff and going to school. So I had this like double life going on at the time.
That's a lot for 14.
It was. It
Like
really
14,
was.
I'm like trying to think of what I was doing. I think I was just like going to school, eating snacks, going back to school, eating more snacks.
Probably.
Oh, I did that too. I did that too.
Like when did you have time?
It was a really hectic schedule, but somehow, you know, I look back and I'm kind of in awe at my younger self for the things that I accomplished at such a young age.
That's true, yeah. You're probably an old soul, you know, so you didn't
I've
have
been
to,
told.
You don't have to start from scratch. You don't, you know.
I just kind of walked in and knew this is what I got to do.
Right.
So,
Right.
Now, let me ask you this about the voice. How could you tell it's different from just, I mean, everybody gets thoughts in their heads, right?
Right.
And you can interpret it however you want, you know. So how did that feel different for you?
well, I mean, I had this innate knowing that, first of all, the voice felt very loving. It wasn't, and it sounded different in my head. We call this in this work clairaudience, clear hearing.
Right.
So being an intuitive, you have 4 ways in which you can connect or see or feel or know or hear spirit.
What are the 4 ways?
So clairaudience is the clear hearing.
Right.
Clairvoyance is your clear seeing, which they would say is in the third eye.
Right,
If you're
right.
familiar with chakras. Well, I'm going
a
there
little
this
bit.
morning, guys.
Yeah, well, we expected that. That's what happens with spiritual people.
Yes,
They
we just go
you,
there.
attack you from all directions. Go on.
Clairsentience is the clear feeling, and claircognizance is clear knowing. So for me, you know, for most of my childhood, there was a strong sense of the clear feeling and knowing. And then clairaudience came at around 14 when I heard the voice tell me, you're going into this industry, you're going to make a difference with this. And go. And because it was never a dream prior to that.
Right.
You know, I
Right.
would look back at my diaries as a kid and I'd say, did I write anything about being an actress or singer in here? I mean, I played piano,
Right.
classical piano for 10 years, but that's a completely different, you know, industry than
10
being,
years now or 10 years at 14?
At 14.
Girl.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you.
I don't even remember very
So
much.
you
now.
started playing the piano at 4?
Yes. Yeah. And I competed and was in the Royal Conservatory. So I had the ear. And that's how I actually learned to sing, was through
Piano.
and through, I would hear a song and I would learn by ear
Right.
how to sing it.
Right.
So I could hear singers and I could mimic their voices.
Yeah, wow.
I swear that's probably how I got into the pop group. I sang Mandy Moore and Monica. And
I love
nailed it.
old school voices.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
oh yes. But they were the it girls.
Yeah,
you know, in that
yeah.
time, like I loved them. So
Now I listen, I have Mandy Moore on my Apple Music still, and when she pops up, I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I'm just like, how was I ever into that?
that's she's real bubblegum pop.
Yeah,
as they call
like-
it. Yeah, but
and
she
I-
was so sweet and cute, and she had that kind of.
I rewatched Walk to Remember. and like all her soundtrack, all the songs she sang in that, I was like, ooh.
Not your cup of tea.
No, not anymore. But then she did Tangled, and I'm like, all right, I'll download that song. Have you watched that movie?
I don't know if I have.
Tangled's a cartoon. She plays Rapunzel.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't. No,
I've seen it 6 times. I think it's so good. It's one of my faves.
Yeah,
I've just started with This
that.
Is Us, so I'm hearing her sing
my
a little
God.
bit in
Yeah.
that show.
I can't stand her character in that show.
No.
Maybe I just don't like Mandy Moore.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
not.
think it might be the case.
Okay, whatever.
Oh,
So
man.
wow, so this is cool. So you started realizing that you have some kind of I don't know what, like responsibility maybe to do something.
I love the way you said that. It did feel like a responsibility. And I mean, I would say when I was a teenager and in my early 20s in that industry, I was just enjoying the entire ride, the whole journey of doing the things that I was doing that people dreamed of doing.
Were you like well known where you are?
Like back home, I'm
Right.
not well known, like famous,
Right.
not well known, but people knew of us.
Right.
We were just as a pop group, and the name of the group was Savvy Cafe. We were just starting to really grow and get bigger.
Right.
And then one of the young women in the group ended up getting pregnant. And that was kind of the way the group sort of started to
Fall apart
in that sense.
Right. At what point in your life did you join the group? I mean, about how old were you?
14.
14?
Yeah. I was in my first year of high school.
Because I was hoping to listen to some of the music, but
Social media wasn't alive then.
SoundCloud. I put
Really?
some songs up on SoundCloud. If you go to my SoundCloud,
Let's do this right
Yeah,
now.
I want to hear it.
Yeah.
The light. You have to play the light. That
Okay.
is it, guys. That was
Were
the
you like
best
the
song.
lead singer, the background singer?
No, we were all actually we were chosen as a group from Peter Mann, and Kennedy is a pretty big music producer, and Kathy Young, who was my manager. Shout out to her because we're still in touch, and she's just such an amazing woman. We were formed with his eyes closed, so he
What do you
chose
mean?
us not based on how we looked. It was solely on the blend and the harmonization of the voices.
So he never met y'all.
He did end up meeting us, but when he was choosing the girls for the group,
Right.
it wasn't based on this girl I know or nepotism
Right,
or it
right.
was solely formed on the way the voices blended together. So we would do a lot of harmonization. We would have our own solo parts and songs, and then at a certain point closer to where we were, slowly ending the group, we were each getting our own individual songs, and I hadn't gotten mine yet. So a couple of the other girls did. I hadn't had mine yet. So we were on the verge of doing that. But then I did some solo work later anyways. So
Right.
I had my chance to step into the spotlight, so to speak, on my own. But I had some interesting stories from, back in the day because, I dove into this industry. I loved it. I was devoted. I was dedicated to it. I hustled.
Right.
I hustled to be able to straddle both worlds of being a
Right.
student and a normal teenager
Right.
and a young woman in her 20s. And then, having this responsibility and this intuition and just this strong, deep, deep knowing that I had a personal responsibility to do something great on the planet,
Right.
to help people. And the longer I was in the industry, what started to happen was I started to feel less and less connected to why I was in the industry. Like my why was starting to fizzle.
Right.
As I was starting to step into personal development and my own spiritual growth. So right around 18, 19, that's when I started to dive into, like, who am I?
Right.
Who am I really? What's going on in this world? I can't understand why certain things are the way they are. And I have always been a seeker and somebody who questioned the status quo or what we would define as reality.
Right.
And as I was in that, that's when I started to feel like, oh, what I had my own business by 21 in event marketing and promotions.
Is there anything you didn't do?
I know.
I
It
told you
feels like
she's
it's
an
like
old soul. She's
10
done it all.
lives.
She's done it all. Yeah, 10 lives ago.
It really honestly feels like that.
Do you feel like you're carrying the world on your shoulders?
Sometimes, some days.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
At 21, I was like in college, just like graduated college and like figuring out what bar to go to. I'm like, where are we going tonight? It's just got my ID. It's not
Excuse
fake.
me, you're still there at
I know.
that stage.
Literally, I was asking Gabby today, where are we going tonight?
Yeah, what club are we going to? All right, well, whatever. But so that's cool. Now, at what point did you decide to move out here to California?
Well, that's the interesting thing about the story, because when I was a kid growing up in Toronto, I always had a connection and a fascination with California, Southern California.
Really?
And I knew I was supposed to be here.
Wow.
I just knew. So, of course, one of the reasons why I was stuck myself into that industry too for so long, and I hustled, it was because I had this vision of being in LA by 25 and being a famous actress, choosing roles that would make a difference, that would help people. So I thought that was the end all be all. I really did. I thought this is the vehicle to getting to California and to making an even bigger impact in the world. And then all these bizarre things started to happen. So I
love that word.
It was so bizarre. It was literally like everything that seemed like it was conspiring for me was conspiring against me.
Right.
And
Like, you say that's so funny. Is that the accent?
that might be the accent, guys.
What, against?
Yeah. Do you say it like that?
No.
Against.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
I find it interesting. I might
It's
start saying
cool,
it like
right?
that now.
You know.
Now you're going to pick up on it.
Yeah. It's like, excuse me, ma'am, are you against me?
Well, how do you guys say it?
Against.
Oh,
Against.
yeah.
Like there's no like A, you know.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just the way I pronounce it.
Yeah, I've
I don't know
never-
if there's any Canadians listening. Can
Yeah,
you-
it's okay. Don't make
I
make
think it's
yourself
cool.
conscious now.
I think it's cool.
My hair, now the way I speak.
Yeah,
Hair
right?
looks amazing,
Oh
by
my
the way.
God, guys. Really?
Just here to tear you down this morning. No, I think it's cool. I like when people talk different.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's cool. Okay, don't be self-conscious.
Yeah,
of it
I won't.
because- Good,
I'm
good.
not. I'm not.
It's yeah. I mean, we all have friggin' accents, one way or another.
We all have
you
our
know.
idiosyncrasies, and I think that's what
Exactly,
makes
you know.
us unique.
Exactly.
yeah. So that's very cool. So now tell us some of the bizarre things that happened. What happened?
Well, as I was, in this industry, and
Wait, are you in LA yet or no?
No, this is still Toronto. I never
okay.
got to LA because I would, get these projects or films. I would, I was becoming a solo artist. I even had a life coach at 23 preparing me for all the success that I was supposed to have,
Wow.
moving forward. But on the brink, just the night before, it would feel like something was about to hit or pop. And for me to go to the next level with my success,
Right.
it would somehow fall apart.
Sounds like
The
my life right
funding
now.
would go away. Like the production would cut costs. My role would disappear. The manager and the producer have a conflict. They don't want to work together anymore. I mean, and it was happening so often that it was almost impossible to miss. I couldn't just pass it off anymore as
Right.
just, this is just a coincidence.
Like it's a sign. Like this
It's
is
a
not
total
what
sign.
I'm supposed to be doing.
Exactly. And, and truthfully, I knew inside of myself, I knew the truth because you can never take away your truth.
Right.
It's sitting there, and I knew in my gut, I knew in my intuition, I'm not supposed to be doing this anymore. But because I had been in it for so long, I had this successful, little business on the side that I was running. I had this dream of being in LA and this, mission.
Right.
I thought I have to stick with it. And, my life coach said at 23, like, I really don't think that you're cut out for this anymore. And I was like,
F you, life coach.
I literally was. I was like, in my head, I'm like, fuck you, buddy. I'm going.
Right. Yeah.
And
Literally, go fuck yourself. I'll
And,
send you an
I
autograph
think
when I
this
make
is
it.
your journey is to deal with people that keep putting you down.
Legit.
I think so too.
Or
I think
making
that's
you
a
feel
part
like
of
shit.
it. Like just
Not
keep
putting you
going.
down.
But you know
But-
what? He had my back, and
Right.
the thing was, Sam, I knew he was right, and so the fuck you is like, fuck you, you're right, but I want
Right.
to prove you wrong. But I was really just doing it to myself.
Right.
It had nothing to do with him, and so when I heard that from him, I emailed some agents in LA. I started to take care of things myself. I had representation in Toronto, all of that, but I emailed agents, had meetings set up,
Right.
and just before I was about to leave, I got a virus all over my face.
Wow.
And was
What do you
bad.
mean?
Like, I'm talking, I've never ever seen something so nasty in my life. Like, I had blisters all over my lips,
Oh,
inside
my
my
God.
mouth, impetigo on my face, which toddlers typically get when they're playing in the sandbox and get a bacterial infection. And my lymph nodes were so swollen, I almost couldn't even barely like drink water. So I knew that was what I call divine intervention.
Yeah.
that was,
Did you
God's
just like
way.
wake up with it?
Literally, it was like I was about to go within that period of that month, and this happened, and I couldn't leave. I couldn't go. It was 3 weeks of pretty much being bedridden, and I knew that was it. That was the sign for me that it was time to start venturing in another direction, and then the direction that I had already been in, which was, tapping back into my gifts, tapping back into my original why and this responsibility, as you called it, and move forward in a new direction. And I went on like a year of soul searching. I started to leave the business behind. I did background work because I'm in the union in Canada for actors, and that paid really well. And I worked these odd office jobs, which gave me anxiety and heart palpitations and sweaty hands every day. I couldn't stand it. And, the voice came back a year later after I left the industry, and basically said, like, you're here to do the thing that you love, that you're most passionate about. And that is your expression of what you're here to do. And what did I love at the time? Anything spirituality, yoga, meditation, coaching work, alternative health and wellness. And so I went back to school.
Right.
And in school, that's when I went and had a postgrad. I did a postgrad program.
That's okay.
And then formed my business that I've been in for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting journey. And I didn't think that I would actually get to California. I literally let go of that dream.
Right.
I was like, maybe I'm not meant to go and live in California. I'm meant to have a life here, meet my partner, settle down. But something in that didn't seem exciting. And so what I basically did was just devoted myself to doing the spiritual healing work and the coaching work and the intuitive work with all my clients. I taught yoga, meditation, and let the dream go until my husband came into the picture.
Okay, let's talk about how he came in the picture. I always like romance stories.
I think you might like this.
Yeah, Bridget,
really, really good.
Yeah.
It's
really
cute. And he's here. He's with our dog. He's not in the building, but he's with our dog. He drove me this morning.
Wait, what's your dog? Is it a pit?
No, he's
Okay,
a little
I saw a guy-
Chihuahua Terrier,
okay.
Leo.
It's not a
He's
pit.
the best. So
How long have you been married now?
3 years. We
3
just
years.
celebrated actually our anniversary. But how we got married, we still haven't had a wedding. So this is the kicker.
Which is why I'm here to plan it too.
Yes. Jenna already put her dibs in.
I'm like, I need to
I'm
plan
planning
this.
your wedding.
Yes. I am such a great
We
event planner.
eloped. Yeah, we eloped.
In Vegas?
No, in Ventura County. Not very sexy at the courthouse, but
Yeah, but it's fast there, right?
it
They
was
say
fast. I was dressed in this little lace Charlotte Russe dress. Oh,
Oh my God, Charlotte Rose, girl.
God, I went all out.
Yeah, you were killing it.
I know, and he had on like a full white outfit, express white pants, bat. I mean, like, I don't even want to see those pictures and be reminded, but it was special for us. And
So how did you meet?
we met years ago when I first started my business. I went to Colorado. I was a woman that was invited into a men's conference of a lot of spiritual leaders and coaches. So I was there to hold space, to share my thoughts and my feedback from the feminine perspective at this conference.
Right.
And my husband, who wasn't there, was connected to this community of men.
I see.
So on Facebook, we got connected. And I followed him, and we followed each other for quite some time. But what's so cool is that when I had saw his picture, I knew intuitively it was my husband. Like, it was a passing thought. It was like, that's my husband. And then I just went on with my life and had a
It
lot
sounds
of...
so crazy when you say that, but you know how many times I've said that, and it's not my husband.
But even in knowing that, you know how many more disastrous dating, relationships and stuff I had from that point on. And I mean, they were all great lessons, and they were all part of my
I
transformation.
hate when people say
but-
that. Like when you end up, it's like, what lessons do you learn? I learned that I'm just shitty at dating.
Right.
I got nothing out of this except for a lot of tissues reused.
Oh, good.
I'm going through it right now. That's why I'm bitter as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta
Happy for you.
No, but you gotta feel it right now. You gotta go through that process
know.
of being angry and sad and grieving, all of that. And then, then it becomes easier to do what, we call the inner work around it, right? And that's where the lessons really reveal themselves.
Right.
If, of course, you're committed and you choose to do it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I, saw his picture, and I thought that that's a great man, and followed his posts. And his posts were always so inspiring for me. I thought, why are there no men in Toronto like this?
Right.
And he lived in DC. So the funny thing is, I kind of always had that feeling I would end up with an American.
Right.
And then we ended up connecting, gosh, I don't know how many years ago now. And originally we connected professionally. I wanted him to come to Toronto to do one of his eye-gazing events because I was doing a lot of relational work with people at the time, and he's a coach for men. So he helps single men meet and find their well-matched woman. I just gave a little side pitch there.
Sounds
for him.
good. Well, I need to befriend
He'll be on the
him.
next episode.
I need to befriend this guy.
He's a great guy, and I was just inspired by him. So we were planning this event. And then, of course,
But was that like a low-key ploy just to get him to your city?
Well, everybody always asks me that. And legit reason, I really wanted to have an event with him. But the funny thing was leading up to me reaching out to him, I just had this knowing, like he just kept coming in my awareness all the time.
Wow.
Like about 6 months to a year before we really connected that way.
Right. So now, was it like love at first sight, would you say?
I mean, I don't even know if I believe in love at first sight. It was
Right.
definitely like recognition of each other's souls
Right.
away. Like, I mean, and even before that, I mean, Jeffrey, liked me from afar, but it wasn't one of those Facebook crushes where we're just, stalking each other day in and day out. But the connection really started. The romance really started when we started to have these Skype calls, 2-3 times a week. We'd talk for 2-3 hours a night. And then he took a 14-hour bus ride in one of the worst winters to come and visit me for 9 days. And
Well, is he afraid to fly or what?
no, it was just so last minute that we decided, and the flights were just, the prices were just ridiculous.
Crazy, yeah.
Wow.
So he took this bus, he didn't mind, and he got off, and we saw each other, and he's like, 14 hours of bus smells, and
Good.
probably hasn't even brushed his teeth. I arrived fresh-faced, to pick him up, and we have our first kiss in the bus station, and that was it. Like, the rest is kind of history. We fell in love, if you will,
Right,
from that
right.
point
Right.
onward, and we're back and forth. So I know about the long distance, except DC to Toronto is like a 2-hour
Right.
flight, or
And,
hour
it,
and a
and
half.
it's, yeah.
DC Toronto's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's not far. It's a pretty quick flight.
Oh, so you guys don't even live together.
Oh no, that was before.
I
And
was
then
like, wait, girl, what the fuck?
Yeah, that
you
was
mean you don't
bad.
live with your
no,
husband?
No.
She
I
just
could
said
never.
he's outside this
That's
building.
right. I was so confused for a second. I'm like, what is she talking
Well,
about?
I guess I didn't clarify the rest of the story. We were long distance for a while, then we came to California, and
I
then we
see.
got married here, and the rest is history, as they say.
Oh, well, that's cool. Now, talking about marriage, Brigetta,
She's like, what the heck?
get close to the mic. I need to find out with you. I mean, you're like forever single. Are you like planning on get married?
Why does this have to go back to me? And why is this back to me at this moment?
Okay, I'll tell you
The
why.
show isn't about me today.
No, we're
it's
talking
about
about
Vanessa.
marriage, but we have to hear from you. You're not going to sit here like a lump for an hour.
I don't mind it. This is all about Vanessa time.
Of
Like,
course
you
it
know?
is, but stop it now. Answer
my
me.
God, I
I've
don't
known
wanna
you
answer.
for a while. Okay, then don't.
Okay, fine. There.
I mean, are you like ready for marriage if you find the right guy?
if I found someone, do I really believe that someone is out there? Maybe. I don't fully believe it.
yeah.
I really don't.
Really?
I
So
do.
what? Do
you
think
sound
you're
like
not-
me.
I just don't.
So you don't think you're going to find anybody ever?
I don't know. I mean, I think like right now what I'm going through is like tying up all my loose ends everywhere. Maybe out there somewhere. I don't know. But I think it's so hard to find people. And like what her husband does, I need to get the guys that come out of like his program.
Right.
Every woman says that. He gets messages all the time from women on
Really? So-
Facebook. Send
Yeah.
the men from your program
Yeah.
over to me.
But even
Yeah.
at that, I think sometimes men retain information for a very short amount of time, and then they just kind of lose it.
I think it goes not just with men. I think women do that too. Like I
Right.
think any of us, and Vanessa can attest to this because you've had clients, I'm sure, that are like this. When you give them tools and things to do, and like you do it for so long, and then as soon as like coaching stops, they usually stop.
Well, it's usually
Exactly.
information. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Right.
We are so inundated with so much information that it's not enough just to read a book or sit in a seminar. What I talk about a lot in my work is the embodiment.
Right.
Where it's no longer needing to be processed through the mind. to be able to form a new habit
Right.
or a new behavior or way of being. It's actually embodied within you. It's like it's a part of you. It's who you are.
Right.
Right.
So it doesn't happen overnight. That's why somebody can read a book and be like, well, why am I not dating differently, or why am I still making the same poor
Mistakes.
choices or
Yeah.
mistakes or whatever it is? Well, it's because it's not embodied. It's still in the mind, and at the mind level, when it's operating from that place, it's not going to have a lasting impact.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm fucked.
these words of
You're not
wisdom are
fucked.
coming from Vanessa
That I'm not,
Petronelli.
girl.
Would you let me
Literally
talk?
and figuratively.
Funny. But I just wanted to remind everybody we're talking to Vanessa Petronelli, and she's obviously very spiritual. Now, Brigitta, you brought up something about channeling, and I thought let's focus on that for a few minutes because we don't
Sure.
have that much left. But
Yeah, I kind of want to like talk about. I want Vanessa to talk about. I want
You talk about it for me. I'll just sit back and chill here.
exactly what you do, and like
Yeah.
her transition, which is so cool. That her coming out of having this. Yeah, and you were known in Canada and whatnot.
Yeah,
in that
and
respect.
yeah.
And she knows the industry, and her coming from that perspective, and how she took a step back and realized, and went into her spiritual coaching, and she's really well known spiritual coach, and a lot of her clients are also well known as in the celebrity world, and it's like. Because you've lived that life in the entertainment world, you know the hustle and bustle.
Exactly.
And it's easier for you to work with those type of clients. And that's kind of like what's so cool about you is like you've had that taste, and like now it's like bringing it back in a different way. So I'm going to let you talk about what you do in your work.
Yeah. No, but it's
Yeah,
nice to
it's-
hear somebody, reflected in that way, because I have bridged the worlds together. And that's been the whole point. I get what it's like to be in this industry firsthand.
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one. And, I went through, what I didn't talk about is, the body dysmorphia that I ended up, getting and creating within myself. My self-image was affected, and my self-esteem and confidence. And I've had to do a lot of work to come back to who I am and to be in my power and to be in my, center and to be authentic.
Right.
To be able to do this again in a new way. And I'm bridging these worlds because I believe that, people in popular culture, I think we all have a responsibility to do better for humanity. I really do. And not everybody is going to feel that responsibility. Not everybody's going to connect with that. But we have a platform. We have our voices. We have the projects we choose, what we're saying yes to, what we're saying no to. And I want to help empower the people in this industry and beyond, like leaders of the world, thought leaders, visionaries, artists, change makers, to really stand powerfully in who they are and to awaken to a higher level of what I call consciousness and self-empowerment and fulfillment. And as a result of that, our personal lives, our professional lives, we start to see more success, we start to feel more joy, and we start to go out into the world and become, a more positive and powerful role model for others.
Right.
So, I do that transformational work with my clients, and I've worked with clients, all over the world with thousands of clients, and, the leaders and the celebrities and the actors and, entertainers and all the other people, practitioners and healing arts, come so that they can really get access to who they are, so they can be more of themselves in the world, because you can get lost in the roles that you're playing.
So they come to you and you give them that feedback?
Well, we do the work together. I don't look at it as like me doing the work. They're doing the work. They're responsible for themselves. But
you guide them.
I guide them, exactly. And I mean, that's the thing. When you're in this world, especially in this industry, it's easy to get lost. It's easy to lose a sense of who you are and where you're going, because there's so many people telling you who you should be, what you should look like, how you should act. And, at the end of the day, where we're going, I believe, in the world, we're looking for greater authenticity and integrity. And people are craving realness,
right?
Not scripted reality of who we think all these people are.
Right.
People are developing so many complexities about themselves with the social media age, because what we're seeing even on social media is not real. It doesn't even have
we're
to be
talking
Hollywood.
about it. It's personas.
It's all
not-
personas. It's all masks, and
It's like what people want us to see.
Yeah, and
it's
it's
the
bullshit.
highlights. It's your highlight reel of all the positive things. No
Totally.
one's showing
Right.
you the negative. And you also help with balance. It's like a lot of balance.
Yes,
in
balance.
life.
Yeah.
Because I think as everyone in the entertainment world, and I can speak for myself specifically, you can get thrown off balance, and I even know with some of the major celebrities, that I've worked with in particular, it's like, they get so, we talk about Heath Ledger, for example. You're
Love
getting
him.
so lost in the role and
Yeah.
losing yourself, literally losing yourself. And then Robin Williams, there's so many people and characters that happens to. And if they had a life coach, someone who's a spiritual guide,
Right.
like Vanessa is, that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
They would have been able to find that balance.
I will say, last week, my friend George called me and he was like, "Hey, I want to talk to you about something." And I was like, "All right, what's up?" He's like, "Your social media," like he went in on, like, because I post videos, like you see my videos, like I'll post, like I'm the type of person who will post when something's bad, like when I lose all my money, like I'm very open about my problems.
Vulnerable, yeah.
But I also post like funny, like 1-minute videos, like about sex or whatever. And he was like, "You're going to be single for the rest of your life." He's like, "You're carrying on this persona." He's like, "You still think that you're on Bad Girls Club. You still think you're a reality star." He's like, "Do you even know who you are outside of this show?" But in my head, I was like, "You don't fucking know me, because this is who I was. That show didn't change me. It just gave me a platform to talk to more people." That's because some people do get lost in the industry and they're like, "This is who I am." But I've always been that way.
Yeah.
I've always been like the black sheep of my family, the outspoken one, the weirdo, like, and I like hung up the phone and I cried for like 2 hours because I'm like, no one gets me. Like, not a single person gets me. I'm going to start crying right now.
Well, but you know why it is? Because, you need someone to guide you. You really do. You really do. You need someone like her because you're lost.
But why am I lost? That's what I'm saying. Just
I
because I'm
don't-
not working right now? Because I
that's-
don't have a career right now?
Maybe you're not working because you're lost. Maybe you don't know what's going on with you. And maybe if she helps you find out, then you'll end up working as a benefit of all this. You know what I'm saying?
I will say, when you were
it's
talking
not
about...
like it's not like if you work, everything's going to come to you. It's the other way around, I think.
Right. Like when you were saying all these signs were happening, like maybe this is not for me. Like for the past couple of months, I've done like maybe 8 Skypes for like 8 different shows. Because I was like, oh, this is like what I'm supposed to do. Every single one of them didn't work out. So now I'm like, okay, now I've got to really think, what am I supposed to be doing here?
Right.
This is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Everybody goes through these transitions, and I call them cycles. Where we are now and where we want to go, or
Right.
at least even figure out, where am I headed? What's the vision? And then we're in that gap. A lot of my clients find me in that space where they know that they're destined for more, or there's something else that they're ready for. Or they want to find the balance or experience more love and acceptance for themselves, and they just don't know how to get there.
Right.
So it's not just you. I
Right.
want you to know, I've been there myself. I'm sure
I've been there too.
We've
And-
all
yep.
we've all been there, and Sam, you're right. The perspective for most people is when I have more of the money, the fame, the jobs, the family, the marriage, whatever it is, then I'm going to
Then
feel
I'll be
better and I'll
okay.
be okay. But
Right.
it's really like, it's flipping it now. It's understanding that everything in your life is an extension of who you are.
Inside. Yep.
Yeah.
Right, and
Who
that's
you
what
are.
you project, I mean, look, she's got 350,000 followers
Wow.
on Instagram. She's built this, but she's not in a position to monetize it or do anything with it. I mean, to the point where people are making her feel bad about the persona she's putting on, but the bottom
need me.
line is...
And her. You need
Yeah,
her as
you
your
need
coach and me to help you with
and
the
it's not a
marketing platform.
coincidence. Maybe she came in now for a reason.
I know.
Yeah. No, you need some. You need to go through some really finding out who you are, finding meaning in your life. And she's the best guide.
Well,
it
I know
seems
who
like
I
to me.
am. I just don't have meaning right now.
Right.
Like, there's definitely some days I wake up and I'm like,
Yeah. Why
I'm going to
am
go to the
I
radio
here?
show, and then what am I doing after?
Well, that's really what fulfillment is, right?
Right.
Like I really, at the end of the day, I think that's what we're all looking for.
Right.
Is personal and spiritual fulfillment.
Right.
Right.
Like, I know that I'm supposed to make people laugh. That's what I feel like I was meant to do. and make people talk about stuff they don't want to talk about.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I like to make people feel a little bit more comfortable in uncomfortable situations. I just don't like when I read my comments. Like yesterday, I uploaded a video about how like guys like have sex with girls with no condoms and they head right to the shower and like clean their dick off. Like that's saving them from whatever STD they probably just got.
Virginia's like, I don't believe she just ruined the whole friggin' interview. No, it's okay.
Exactly what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking. How
That's
did you
okay.
know?
We'll take that part out.
Dang, damn it.
She has no
edit,
filter.
edit, cut.
That's okay. It's a nice ending to the show.
But I'm
because
saying
we
people
kept
don't
it
talk
real.
about it, but it's true. Like anytime a guy does that, you're thinking no one saved you.
We have 1 minute left, and this is where
That's
we're ending.
true.
No.
No.
Let's bring it back real quick. I want to actually have Vanessa talk
one
about
last thing, but we don't have any time to talk. I do want to find out how people can find her.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I've got an event next week here in Hollywood at Liberate Hollywood on Saturday, November 17th. It's called Evenings with V. It's an evening of channeling and guidance. So I will be bringing my mystical gifts through for a beautiful
Can I
audience. Of course you can come.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's a 10-year celebration red
Red
carpet
carpet.
event.
Big
So-
story
like
event.
fancy.
Yeah, you can
Fancy.
dress up.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah, see, Bridgetta loves these things. These events, I know.
Yeah.
So that's a special event happening next week. Tickets are on sale. And
That's
you can head
awesome.
over to my website. My website is vanessapetronelli.com.
Spell that.
VANESSAPETRONELLI.com.
Okay, well, I hate spelling on the radio. Nobody's following it anyway, but just look up Vanessa Petronelli. Even if you don't put
That's a
spell
difficult
it
last
wrong.
name. Yeah.
No, but even if they misspell
Yeah.
it, it'll find it for
Yeah,
them.
it'll find it.
Google
It's 'cause of
finds
that.
everything.
Totally.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So you got to remember the name as a whole, not by letters, because you can't remember anything. But listen, Vanessa, you're fascinating.
Thank you.
You're very gifted, and we thank you for being here this morning because I think we learned a lot. And if nothing else, now Danny knows about you. Even if you don't go to her, go to the event. What
I'm
do you
definitely
get
going to the event.
lose, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure. For
That'll
sure.
be cool. You'll meet a lot of people and everybody. So, Vanessa, how can people find you? Do you have a website?
Yeah, that's
Social
my website.
media?
Yeah,
Social media.
Yeah.
Vanessa Petronelli across the board.
Okay.
Instagram, Facebook, and my website.
And all the event stuff info is posted on there as well. And then
Yeah.
you can find everything.
Sounds
on there.
good.
Yeah, the
Awesome.
channeling that she does is absolutely amazing.
you.
Did you healing?
Yes,
Yes.
I do all of that.
I need healing.
That's what when you come to this event,
You will get that.
it's a whole healing event. It's a lot that's
Wow.
going on. It's really amazing.
So this is cool, and if Bridgetta recommends it, you know it's good because you go to all these things. I mean, I see on Facebook and stuff. You go,
Yeah, I mean, it's
to a
been
lot of different
yeah.
gatherings and events and
And
yoga.
it's been 6 years that I've been managing and doing
Wow.
events with Gail, as you know, Gail.
Right.
And and I just ventured off, and Vanessa's one of my clients, and I am very picky with who I work with. So
Congratulations.
she's
Yeah.
amazing. Absolutely, I
That's
completely
very
vouch
cool.
for her. She's incredible.
Great
Thanks.
team, great team. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. We're
Thank
totally
you.
over time.
Yeah.
But listen, if you guys like Vanessa, stay tuned. Go right into the video channel, or stay on our page on LA Talk Radio on Facebook. We're going to share Vanessa's video. And she's going to be on Katarina's show.
Yes.
It's called LA 40. So just look it up and see. And Vanessa's going to be on there. We'll even hear a little more
Yeah,
about what
and
you do.
that's all about the channeling and the guidance and the gifts that she does.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you,
Vanessa,
guys.
Bridgetta, thank you so much
Peace
for joining
out.
us. Peace out. Danny, thank you
Bye,
so
everyone.
much.
You're welcome.
Everybody, we're going to have Danny's twin tomorrow, so stay tuned, and we'll see you then.
You're listening to Sam in the Morning with Danny, only on LA Talk Radio.